Jonathan Taylor's off the board, and so is Austin Eckler. Dave and Tara have drafted. Welcome to the show. Jamie, when are you drafting? What do you got, the 8th pick there?
I got the 12th pick. I'm excited.
Oh, there's 2 J's? Who's the other J?
The other J would be Jack Capitordo.
Jack. All right. There's another D. It's Dan Schneier. There's only 1 A, everybody. All right. Looks like I've got the 6th pick. Dave took Taylor.
The right stream.
Eckler. What'd you say? You
have the right stream.
I think so. I mean, I don't know, man.
What a mess.
Never know. I don't think I set up the draft room right. So I'm going to work on making it a little bit bigger. But Christian McCaffrey is the 3rd pick. Jamie, what kind of draft are we doing today?
It is a 12-team PPR mock draft, 3 wide receivers, 1 flex, no defense, no kicker, 1 quarterback.
Okay. And
I didn't screw up the flexes this time.
3 receivers, 1 flex, and sorry. Just getting ready to make my pick. We'll see how it turns out. All right, Tara, how you doing? Tara's coughing. Sorry. Go ahead.
Other than that, doing wonderful. Doing good today.
Dave, how are you doing?
I am also coughing, just not right at this exact moment.
All right. We've got a lot of you joining us so far. Only 30 people at the moment. So let's bring that up a little bit. I need to see Dan Schneier's in there. I'm sure he'll be talking some smack about me. We got 3 more episodes of the Fantasy Football Today podcast coming up this week. We're going to be talking about different strategies for different formats. We're going to do a mock draft review, likely going to be this draft that we're going to review on the air. And then we're going to have a mailbag on Friday. So you have plenty of opportunities to get your questions answered. Please email us at fantasyfootball@cbsi.com. In the meantime, though, if you want to ask your questions here, we'll be reading them throughout our live mock draft today as we are waiting for Chris Towers to join us, the new host of Fantasy Football Today in 5. He already recorded the episode you're going to hear tomorrow with Dave. Heard him and Jamie on yesterday's show, so great stuff there. And I'm kind of running out of filler. So Dalton says, I like 3 wide receivers and 1 flex, so I can start 4 receivers. Is that how you guys approach a league like this, Dave, where you're probably going to start 4 receivers?
Yeah, I mean, I will. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to draft them all so soon because I'm of the belief that you can find good wide receivers in the middle of a draft and even a little bit later on. I'm learning more and more receivers each day coming out of the woodwork as training camp starts to open and teams are starting to practice. I'm already getting excited about some receivers when we get to the double-digit rounds. We talked about some of them on today's podcast. I'm still usually that's the way I'll set a lineup. If it's 3 wide receivers in a flex, is 3 wide receivers, obviously, and then a 4th receiver in the flex if it's PPR. But you can always change it up. It's usually the flex spot is for your next best available player on your bench who didn't make your initial lineup. And so if that's usually a wide receiver, then so be it.
Tara, any thoughts on that? Do you go into a draft like this thinking, well, my flex is going to be a particular position, or you just let the chips fall?
I let the chips fall, but 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a receiver just because I'm trying to stack up enough receivers for those 3 wide receivers. And so it always ends up being someone that I'm also going to put in the flex spot as well.
I like how you just let Dave lie to you and say he's going to play 4 wide receivers. You know he's playing 3 running backs.
We don't
Dave?
know that. Don't know that for sure.
Bold-faced lying.
No. I mean, I guess you never know. You draft a certain way, and then you just never know what it's going to look like throughout the year, right? But I'm going to get the draft results up very soon. Apologize for that. Am I on the clock yet?
No, we had the usual Chris Towers delay. Now we have the Marone Berkson delay. Well, pretty soon we'll have probably another delay.
All right. Well, we have time. We have more time to. All right. See, Dan Schneier says I'm 100% aiming for my flex to be a wide receiver, and I know he's going to be really aggressive. He's probably going to draft 4 wide receivers in his first 4 or 6 picks. We'll see if he follows on that. And then here's a question from Lewis: would you say the same? Would you want your flex to be a wide receiver in a half PPR league where you can start 4 wide receivers, 3 receivers, and a flex?
For me,
Tara, you can take it.
Yeah, usually for me.
Yeah, I don't think I'm like that.
I'm more open to making it a running back then. And Jamie's right.
Yeah.
Like most of the time, my flex is going to be a running back because I draft so many running backs early on But there's going to be like this draft. I don't think I'm going to take a lot of running backs early now that I have Taylor. I'm going to feel good about my running backs no matter when I get them because I've already got the best one in the game on my team. So I'm going to be much more open to taking other positions. Like at the 2-3 turn, I mean, if there's going to be a great running back there, I'll take one. But I would imagine there'll be a lot of receivers there that I'll want to gobble up.
Okay. We're now looking at the draft.
Adam with the auto pick.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. All right, let's go. Run it back. I'm here. I'm ready to draft. All right, Cooper Kupp and Derrick Henry off the board, and that will leave me. I've been thinking a lot. What is the difference between Najee Harris and Joe Mixon? I don't know. And then should I be taking? Let's see. Let's go to Heath's rankings here since he's not on today. Oh, Aaron Jones. No, I'm not going to take him. I'm going to take Joe Mixon. I think he's kind of like Najee Harris, but a little bit safer because of the quality of the offense. So Mixon will be my pick at 6 overall. So that's 5 running backs and 1 wide receiver with the first 6 picks of the draft. And that's Dalvin Cook going to Thomas Schaefer. And now Jack is on the clock. The first J is on the clock. Jamie, what are you hoping for? Fingers crossed. Best case scenario at 12.
Best case scenario? Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase.
Okay.
Oh, that would be cool.
Probably not going to happen. Realistic. Best case?
Next best case?
Yeah, realistic.
Travis Kelce, Stephon Diggs.
Okay. I think, Kelsey and Chase, I think you got a chance at that.
Potentially.
All right. Questions, anybody? Question from Dalton. I said, what's the difference between Mixon and Najee Harris? Dalton says Najee Harris's receiving role is probably more guaranteed. You guys
That's
agree?
true. Yes. And what do you think the Steelers are going to do when they're inside the 5? They're going to hand it to Najee way more than the Bengals will hand it to Mixon.
So you like Najee better than Mixon?
I like Najee better than McCaffrey.
You only that's only because of injury, though. You like McCaffrey per game better, right?
Sure, but I also am very worried about taking a running back at the top of a draft who has had 5 injuries in the last 2 years, 4 of them to the lower body. Coaching staff has to know it. They're probably going to take his work back a little bit, too. They just added a power back in Deontay Foreman. I'm sure he's not there to just sit there and watch McCaffrey play. He's going to have a role that's going to annoy people.
I'm sorry, by the way, that I didn't put the draft board up. Can you show the draft board instead of your 4 mugs? Yeah, that was always the intention. I just didn't hit the button. So now here's the draft board. Taylor, Eckler, McCaffrey, Kupp, Henry, Mixon, Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Travis Kelce, number 9 overall. Jamar, I guess you're not getting Chase and Kelce, Jamie.
No, I'm not.
But there's got to be some good value here.
Najee to 11. That's a steal.
I agree.
Mhm.
Najee at 11. Wow. I think I realized that. Let's see. Looking at
Good picks.
Stephon Diggs and DeAndre. So how come you like Swift over Aaron Jones now?
I don't think he's going to share as much. I think this offensive line for the Lions is going to be pretty impressive. I think Goff will be okay. They're back-to-back for me, so I have no problem if somebody likes Jones better than Swift. I just think Swift has a little bit more upside going into his 3rd season, and I think his role will expand a little bit as well.
It's a no-brainer in full PPR. We know that Jones is going to see probably an uptick in targets because of the lack of receivers in Green Bay, but once the receivers gets figured out there, maybe that uptick won't be as high as you think. I think Swift is going to get used a ton in the screen game. I think they're going to throw to him a bunch. And as long as he stays healthy, he's an injury risk too. But man, he's 5 catches a game. Might lead the NFL in receptions for running backs.
Swift?
Swift? Yeah. Might lead the NFL in running back receptions.
Well, I mean, I think you could certainly make the case that Aaron Jones could outcatch DeAndre Swift. Aaron Jones is going to be, if there's a format that Jones is best in, it's PPR, right?
I agree. They're back to back. Or I've got Kamara still ahead of Jones in my rankings, but I think Jones is capable of catching, let's call it 4 passes a game. That's still really good, but I think Swift has 5 catch potential. I bet he has some 10 catch games.
What about the whole he hadn't played with the Amon-Ra St. Brown breakout version plus Hawkinson thing?
That's more an indication of St. Brown than it is Swift.
I agree.
Okay. Alvin Kamara taken 17th overall. Thoughts on that?
I don't have a
It'll be too
problem
late.
with
You
it.
are on the clock.
Find out.
Mike Evans is the pick. Okay, so let's see. I'm on the clock. And I took Joe Mixon. So there's no way I'm going with another running back here. Oh, let's do. Oh, man. I don't like these picks. I would have really, really liked Mike Evans there. I guess Keenan Allen is fine.
That's
Yeah.
the enthusiasm you want to have when
Yeah,
you
I
make
know.
your
I'm not
pick.
really feeling that.
That's what you want.
All right. I'm going to go with Leonard Fournette, and let's see how this plays out.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd go with two running backs there, but I think he's got 80 catch potential as well. In addition to Swift and Aaron Jones, is another guy who could lead all running backs in catches. I think Eckler's the, odds-on favorite, Kamara, but Fournette's up there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I didn't anticipate running back. I don't know if I do it in a real draft, but we'll see how it plays out. That's why we're mocking everybody, and you can mock me. What about Andrews? Would you guys have taken Mark Andrews there?
No.
No.
Nope.
Oh,
And that's a problem because if you had really wanted to have Mark Andrews, he's probably not going to make it back to you in round 3. So you're either reaching for him or you're letting him go to somebody else.
We're actually going to get probably a better realistic view of Mark Andrews because Heath would have taken in round 2 no matter where he picked.
yes. That's interesting. I mean, he crossed my mind. What is his ADP right now on Fantasy Pros? Let's take
It's got
a
to be
look.
like right around 26, 27.
In
was a big
PPR,
fan.
Mark Andrews is going 22nd.
22nd, 2-2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Kyle Pitts is
Still too soon for me.
36th. All right. Interesting.
I will not take Andrews at my turn.
Leonard
That's
Fournette
information for Tara.
and Saquon Barkley. So if you look at the projections there, it's going to be a lot of quarterbacks. Let me see if I can switch that to rankings instead of projections. I don't know. It's a long story, but
We got time. Chris is on the clock.
yeah, no. I mean, I'm going to tell you, I have no idea what's
It's unbelievable every time.
what. Oh,
He
Chris.
missed the pick. It's just ridiculous.
Okay. I don't know what to say about that.
I think we should have him on the live stream so we can see what's going on.
By the way, Robert Thomas is very excited about his start of Najee Harris and Devontae Adams.
He should be.
11
It's
picks.
a good start.
Yeah. Got a steal on Harris. And I might have to turn a light on in here. Devontae Adams is a good pick in early round 2. Can't complain
Especially in
about
a
that.
3-receiver league.
Tara, how you feeling about your team?
I'm feeling excellent about my one pick.
Feeling good?
But I'm feeling
Feeling
good
about
about these
your
picks
next
coming up here. I'm feeling good about them. Obviously I'm going wide receiver more than likely unless something goes a little bit sideways. But yeah, I like draft like Dave. I feel like drafting from the 1, 2, 3 spots, it makes it pretty easy to go ahead and go with maybe a little bit of a hero strategy at running back and double up on wide receiver at 2 and 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, man. See, I'm giving away my strategy on what I'm going to do, and Tara's going to use that against me
Totally.
because she picks before me in the even rounds. But that's what she should be doing. This is part of the strategy when you're picking at like 2 or 3 or 10 or 11. You got to pay attention to what those teams at the very end are doing and use their needs against them. Well, there will be another example of this as we move along in the draft, I'm sure.
Okay. I think I finally got the screen that I was looking for here. So,
Oh, wow. This is a weird turn. This isn't what I was expecting at all.
all right, what happened? So let's see. After I took Fournette, it was Barkley, Debo Samuel, Keenan Allen. Tara took Tyreek Hill. And now Dave is on the clock with picks 24 and 25.
I'm going to have to take Nick Chubb with one of the picks. Having him fall this far, end of round 2, I think that's just too good of a value to pass up.
Ooh, is it Mark Andrews time?
No, because I don't think he's going to be worth the pick here. I'm going to take my chance on A.J. Brown. I think he's the last best receiver that's on the board.
Okay.
He's the one that I'm the most excited about. I think he's got the most upside of anybody left on the board, so I'll take him. But I was fully prepared to take 2 receivers there. didn't work out that way. A lot of receivers went in front of me. So you pivot.
So
And I
do
was
you
definitely
think-
prepared to take AJ Brown there.
Oh, okay. All right. So now you're going to be on the clock after Dave takes AJ Brown. Do you think, Dave, that you'll be able to? Bye, Dave.
No, I'm here. I can still hear you.
Okay. Well, you got to select. Did you select AJ Brown?
Yeah.
He did.
Oh, my screen froze. Awesome. Great stuff here. Best male host. All right. So Tara's on the clock.
I'm just turning some lights on so you can see my pretty face. Because it got pretty dark out here. Usually I go with natural sunlight to help set the tone of my cam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tara, who did you take?
I took DJ Moore. There's a
Oh.
toss up there between DJ Moore and T. Higgins, but again, the closer we get to the season and the more I think about Baker Mayfield and the capabilities that he does have if he is in fact healthy, I feel a little bit more positively about DJ Moore and that he could be one of those guys that pushes himself into the wide receiver 1 category this year.
And then finally, Mark Andrews goes 27th overall to Dan Schneier. So let's see if Schneier's taking all the wide receivers. I mean, that was kind of a curveball for him. But McCaffrey, Keenan Allen, Mark Andrews. So for a guy who wants to be very wide receiver heavy, he has just one through the first 3 rounds, which is okay. I mean, you're not going to pass up McCaffrey. And I guess he felt the value on Andrews was just too good. The next best wide receivers, T. Higgins, Brandon Cooks. You're looking at Heat's rankings there on the left.
Pittman is still there.
Pittman is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm on the clock. All right, Michael Pittman is no longer there. All right, we'll take a look at my team here. I have Joe Mixon and Leonard Fournette. I actually do think this is a pretty good time for David Montgomery, but I'm not going to do that.
Why? Go complete. Go heavy RB.
No, why would I do that? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, who's the player that you're looking at that's not a running back?
Yeah, I'm going to take T. Higgins here.
Right. So, like, comparing T. Higgins to David Montgomery, you're banking on Higgins, first of all, being okay and that he's healthy and ready to go. Second of all, that he contributes on a regular basis on a good offense in Cincinnati, plays a different position so you can use him instead of clogging your flex with Montgomery. Are they that far off? I mean, it'll come down to Montgomery. If he stays healthy and the Bears' offense is better than expected, you'll wish you had Montgomery.
Right, but it's not a matter of comparing the players. I think if you start a 3-receiver PPR league with 3 running backs, you're asking for trouble.
No, you're not. You're still going to find good wide receivers later. Look, we can compare the
running back position, you know?
Sure. But you can also, the receivers that we will see in rounds 4 and 5 will not be that far off of what T. Higgins is. T. Higgins is a good receiver, but I don't know if he's going to average 15 PPR points per game.
Oh, I think he'll average 15 PPR points. But what would that have been last year? Top 20? Let me see. I can look it up. But, you know, you're right, Dave. But I need more than one really good receiver, right? It's not just – I've already passed on receiver twice. So I can't do it again because you're right. Wide receivers rounds 4 through 6. I say it all the time. Those are great values, but that doesn't mean those are the only wide receivers you can take. 15 points per game would have been.
Well, he had 15.2 last year, and he was wide receiver 13 on a per game basis.
T. Higgins. Okay, yeah, I have him at 15.7, but
okay.
Sure. 15 is Tyler Lockett, Robert Woods. They were at 15 points per game last year. I think
you say so.
What I'm using.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, back to the draft. We have Ezekiel Elliott, James Conner, Ezekiel Elliott, Kyle Pitts. Actually, Montgomery went after that, so it was a run of 3 running backs there. Let's take a look at the roster grid and see some of the more interesting squads. Okay. Anything jump out at you guys here? Let's see. What do you think about this little Cowboys team here from George? Kelsey, Zeke, and Lamb. Kelsey, Lamb, Zeke was the order he took them in. The 9th.
Might as well get Dak and go all in.
There you go.
Yeah.
How many times last year did Lamb and Zeke both have 15 PPR points? Guesses?
Don't really care.
Why not?
Because last year was last year. Lamb's in a different spot. Zeke's hopefully healthy.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think it's going to be a lot more than what it was last year.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was last year. I'm just going to find out. I'm telling you. 2, 3,
Got
4.
Jalen Waddle and Cam Akers to finish out round 3. All right, so Jamie's team has Akers and Swift and Diggs and Cooks. Looks pretty good. All right, let's take a look at round 3 here. I'm just going to pull up the results for round 3. And they were A.J. Brown, DJ Moore, Mark Andrews, Javonte Williams, Michael Pittman, T. Higgins, David Montgomery, James Conner, Ezekiel Elliott, Kyle Pitts, Jalen Waddle, and Cam Akers. Tara, are there any picks that stand out to you, good or bad?
Nothing really. Well, I'm not a big fan of the Ezekiel Elliott pick. Not that it's a bad pick right there. I just get a little bit concerned about him. Especially isn't that the RB1 on the team? If that's your RB2, then I'm feeling a little less than concerned. But as the RB1, that makes me a little worried.
Yeah, Kelsey, Lamb, Zeke.
It was too soon for me. I think Montgomery's a little too soon. I didn't like Waddle there either.
Okay. So you would have taken Cooks over Waddle, obviously.
Yes.
Now we have Deontay Johnson and Terry McLaurin. Oh, Frank is in the draft. Hey, Frank, welcome back from your honeymoon. Hope it was great. Breece Hall. All right, so now what do you think about a team that has Ezekiel Elliott and Breece Hall as their number 1, 2 running backs?
With Kelsey and Lamb?
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine. I would have preferred, I like Akers better than Zeke, so I would have taken Akers instead of Zeke. I like that better.
Okay. Chris Godwin, 41st overall. That's well ahead of his ADP, which is 59th or 60th. But we'll see. There was some optimism about him, about Chris Godwin being ready possibly for week 1, and then he'd be great there. All right, Darren Waller is the pick. I'm on the clock. Hooray! Mixon and Fournette, T. Higgins. Tough picks here. These are Heath's rankings that you're looking at. Is it Josh Allen time? No, it's not going to be Josh Allen time. Not for me.
You're probably looking at
All
receiver.
right, let's do let's do a wide receiver. I am going to take, not going to do Sutton. Not going to fall for that.
No, you can get him.
I'm going to take Josh Allen. I have a strange team with 1 receiver through 4 rounds, but we'll see how it goes. Josh Allen.
I considered Allen at the turn.
Did it hit you that you didn't like what was left at running back, receiver, and tight end, and that's what pushed you to Allen?
Did it hit? Yeah. So if Breece Hall had been there, or Zeke had fallen, or Akers had fallen, I would have taken them. I also already have 2 running backs, so I wasn't dying to take one here. I actually do like the wide receivers, but I feel like the wide receivers that I could take now might not be much different from the wide receivers I can take next round. So I just said, all right,
there wasn't one that stood out. This is perfect. It's a perfect example of when to take your quarterback. When you see that the other positions just aren't offering you anything that's making you go, all right, cool. It's not happening. Pass on them all. Take your quarterback. And it's a good value. Round 4 for Josh Allen. Could be the only guy in fantasy football that scores close to 30 fantasy points every single week. Just found him in round 4. It's awesome.
George Kittle and Mike Williams come off the board here. I was curious, Dave, when you passed on Andrews, and I guess Tara as well, you passed on Andrews in round 3, if Kittle and Waller would make it back to you guys in round 4, and they did not. All right, so Tara is on the clock. We're going to take a look at Tara's team right now. Austin Eckler, Tyreek Hill, DJ Moore. Remember, this is a 3-receiver league with a flex. It is full PPR, so receiver heavy for sure. And Tara, you are on the clock.
So I'm going to go ahead and take my 3rd wide receiver here. Ideally, I would have gone with Allen Robinson right there. But I'm going to go with Cortland Sutton here. Just when I look at, I feel like I've got a pretty overall stable core. And I think Cortland Sutton gives me a little bit of surprise upside right there if he happens to be the wide receiver 1 there and connects better with Russell Wilson. So I like that 3 grouping there, Sutton, Tyreek, and DJ Moore.
All right, Dave takes Marquise Brown and Justin Herbert, Dave. So now you have Herbert, Chubb, and Jonathan Taylor, A.J. Brown, and Marquise Brown.
I love the upside for Marquise Brown. I was hoping Tara was not going to take Marquise Brown. My goal was to get Brown and Robinson. And so when I saw Robinson get taken, I started to get really nervous that Brown wouldn't make it back to me. The next best receiver on my board was DK Metcalf. By the time we're done with this, I don't think he's going to be the next best receiver on my board. I don't know who I would have necessarily taken. A lot of running backs that I like there. I guess Gabriel Davis is the next best receiver, and I think the first pick in round 5 is a little too rich for my blood. So I took my own advice. There wasn't a player that I absolutely had to have, and I went with Justin Herbert, who I think has QB1 potential this year. I really love the outlook for him, love the schedule for the Chargers, love the offensive mindset for the Chargers. I think Herbert can have another outstanding year. It was I did give a little bit of thought to Antonio Gibson.
Yeah,
I did
Tara
think about it.
Thank you, Tara, for taking Gibson. If he had made it back to me, there's no way I could have passed up Gibson even as my third running back. You took almost the full minute to take him, Tara, and that gives you, as Jerry Jeudy was the next pick. Take a look at Tara's team here. Eckler and Gibson, and then 3 receivers, Tyreek Hill, DJ Moore, and Cortland Sutton. So, yeah, what was going through your thought process? What was your thought process there?
So first of all, I felt like I had to take a running back right there, because if not, I was going to be making an active decision about where I was dropping myself in terms of tiers that were going to get back around to me once we got around to the next round. But it really came down to sitting there and deciding between Travis Etienne and the more so stability of Antonio Gibson. I know we've got a lot of talk coming out about the amount that maybe Brian Robinson is going to be worked in, but I do feel that he's still a safer option than Travis Etienne, because we're getting more news about Leonard Fournette, or about James Robinson and not being on the pup, possibly being ready for week 1. And I feel like if they start the season in a committee, things would get a little bit more muddy. I felt safer if Etienne was able to start the season with James Robinson on the pup. So I think it's just a better bet to go ahead and go with Antonio Gibson there.
All right, DK Metcalf is the pick for Miron, which brings me to my pick here. All right, let's take a look. These are the running. You're looking at the running backs for Heath. There's some good ones. Darnell Mooney, Adam Thielen, Amari Cooper, Michael Thomas are the top wide receivers available. Dalton Schultz is the best tight end. I already have Josh Allen, Mixon, and Fournette, but I only have 1 wide receiver. I mean, I like Dobbins better than all of the wide receivers. It's just a question of, this sucks. I guess I have to. Nah, I'm going to take Dobbins. I don't know what the hell I'm doing in this draft. I don't know. We're going to see how it plays out. I'm going best player available, basically. That's more or less what I've done, is just best player available.
How good is
so I have
this
Allen, Mixon, Fournette, Dobbins.
Good is this pick going to look if J.K. Dobbins comes off the pup list this weekend? And I don't know.
I'm one way or another, I'm going to have terrible wide receivers, You
think so, but we've spent months talking about how many interesting wide receivers there are in the middle of the draft.
Do you know the other thing, Dave?
You're now in line to go grab a bunch of them.
I'm not going to get Dalton Schultz, and even if he's available to me in round 6, I don't know how I'd be able to justify that. So
you're taking the best player available. Why not?
At some point, I have to draft wide receivers. Gabriel Davis off the board. Lamar Jackson, Gabriel Davis off the board. Maybe Bateman will come off the board, and we can get 3 Ravens in 1 round. Let's see. All right, George is on the clock. We can take a look at George's team as he makes his pick.
That might be Jamie's pick with the last pick of round 5.
Yeah.
All right,
George.
Or Jamie will just take him with the first pick in round 6, just to say that he went in round 6.
One guy that I'm hoping for. See if we get. Frank did it. What a steal.
So ETN.
We think it's a steal.
Oh, it's a steal. I don't care about James Robinson. He's still going to be
great.
That's
not nice. He cares about you.
Yeah, he does. I was talking to him the other day.
He's still going to be great.
Let's see how
I would have taken Tara. I would have taken ETN over Gibson.
Frank has got Jones and ETN, Chase, McLaurin, and Kyle Pitts. Jamie is on deck, but we'll look at Rob's team right now. Rob has he just took Josh Jacobs. I mean, you got to look at running backs in round 5, the quote unquote dead zone. Gibson, Dobbins, Dillon, ETN, and Jacobs. It's not bad. It's pretty good running back value, right?
I think so.
Sure.
I'm kind of over this RB dead zone thing. I got to be honest with you. Hopefully people have bought into it so much that it just pushes these guys into a round where they're actually good values. Oh, come on, Jamie. You could have taken Bateman around 5. We could have had 3 Ravens in 1 round. but you went Mooney, Bateman, back to back there. All right.
Bear down, baby.
Bear down. You got Akers, Swift, and then 4 receivers: Diggs, Cooks, Mooney, and Bateman. So no issue, right, with not having a tight end or quarterback through 6 picks for you. Sure.
No, none.
And there's
We have 4 quarterbacks drafted already?
We have 4. Yep.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I knew quarterback wouldn't be a problem, but tight end, as Schultz just went, now it's what? Now you're gonna end up with Kmet?
Yeah, bear down, baby.
Bear down, yeah. You better get Fields.
That's how you win in fantasy, right? You just pick up a bunch of Bears players.
All right, Tara, anything stand out to you in our latest round? We look at round 5. We're into round 6 now, but round 5 was Herbert, Gibson, Judy, Mahomes, Metcalf, Dobbins, Jackson, Gabriel Davis, A.J. Dillon, ETN, Josh Jacobs, and Darnell Mooney.
I think the one that stands out to me there is A.J. Dillon. Again, he's a guy that we talked about Aaron Jones earlier and the value that he has as a pass catcher, the upside he has as an RB1. He could potentially be a top 5 pick or a top 5 finisher, but I think a lot of times we might be underestimating, even if Aaron Jones is an RB1, there's still a very good possibility that A.J. Dillon is getting enough goal line work, enough work on the ground, and then some supplemental receiving work as well to justify him as a mid RB2 or even a high-end RB2 if everything goes right and they're splitting properly. So I like A.J. Dillon as an RB2 there.
All right, let's catch up on round 6. Rashad Bateman, Dalton Schultz, Juju Smith-Schuster, Jalen Hurts, and Michael Thomas. And now Adam Thielen is the pick. And that brings us to
Some of my targets are going.
my pick. All right. So I only have 1 wide receiver, 3 running backs, and Josh Allen. Yeah. I don't like any of these values. These suck. Michael Thomas would have been so perfect. That's what I was hoping for. We got to check the other positions here. Oh God, what am I going to do? Take Elijah Mitchell? No, I'm going to take Elijah Moore.
Wow.
I would like to see Elijah Mitchell there. That was an interesting build.
I mean, no, I'm not taking 4 running backs with my first picks in a 3 receiver league. All right, Elijah Moore is my pick. I think you guys can look at these picks now, and how much do you just stop caring about ADP at this point and take the guy you like, or have we not reached that point in the draft?
I don't think we've reached that point yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, within 80, look, within 10 wide receiver. I'm not saying
sure,
you
but you shouldn't ignore a good value if there's one that's there. We're 70 picks into the draft now.
Is there a good value right now? A good
How much do you
Mitchell,
your team, man?
I think Mitchell would have been. I think he qualifies as a good value.
Yeah, he would have been a good value, but not for my squad.
I think you could have waited on Elijah Moore too.
Dave, you want
Round 6, I don't think it's a good value for Mitchell. I think that's priced appropriately.
Really?
Yeah, but you're down on Mitchell.
He doesn't catch passes. He's going to be a committee.
He can catch passes. He will be in a
He can,
committee,
but the
he's
offense
the
doesn't
best
do it.
back in the committee.
Derrick Henry can catch passes too, but they don't do it.
He was on pace.
He did it last year.
He was on pace for 29.
He had a whopping 18, yes.
Well, he only played in so many games. He missed 6 games.
His career high is 19, yes. He can certainly do it.
I will take Mitchell.
Oh, we took him 72nd overall. All right, yeah. So Lazard, a lot of wide receivers here. This round was what, 9 receivers? Was Bateman?
A lot of receivers went sooner than I thought they would.
This was quite a run.
Yeah.
Bateman, Juju, Michael Thomas, Adam Thielen, Elijah Moore, Amari Cooper, Drake London, Allen Lazard, DeAndre Hopkins. Tara took DeAndre Hopkins. Dave took Elijah Mitchell. We're back to Dave's pick now. He goes with Treylon Burks.
So, Tara, what do you think happens week 7 when Hopkins is back? How do the targets get distributed for the Cardinals?
That's what worries me a little bit about Marquise Brown. Oh, yeah, I am on clock. Just kind of looking at what Christian Kirk did last year compared to when DeAndre Hopkins was out versus when he was in. I think the upside is capped to maybe a high of 14 fantasy points per game for Marquise Brown. And I think it's going to tilt back over to DeAndre Hopkins being that person who's got the 20-point upside. So I lean more towards Hopkins as the guy that I prefer to draft.
All right. Mitchell and Traylon Burks to Dave. So let's take a look at Dave's team. He has Herbert. He has 3 running backs and 3 receivers. Taylor, Chubb, and Mitchell. And A.J. Brown, Marquise Brown, Traylon Burks. I ask people this question sometimes, Dave. Do you think you have a PPR-y enough team? Because it seems like you have a lot of low catch guys.
I think Traylon Burks will be a high catch guy, certainly for Tennessee. I don't know if that necessarily means he's going to be like 100 catches, but I think he'll be fine. I think A.J. Brown will be fine. I think Philadelphia will throw more than they did last year. Brown's on an offense now that'll throw a bunch. I think he'll be in line for 5-6 catches a game too. The running backs is where you can nitpick me on that, obviously, because I've got Taylor, Chubb, and Mitchell, and those guys might catch 50 passes combined, but they also might score 40 touchdowns combined.
I think we'll see what happens this year, but there were only, I believe, 6 running backs who caught 50 passes last year, and there were something like 15 a couple of years ago. It has gone way down. McCaffrey and Barkley getting hurt hasn't helped, but it's not as big of a thing as it was even a couple of seasons ago, and that's important because it makes the 20 catch running backs, more valuable. I don't know, but less detrimental to your team if there just are fewer running back catches going around. Traylon Burks, Kyler Murray, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Amon-Ra St. Brown are the first 4 picks of round 7. And St. Brown's always a hot topic on our show. His ADP is 65th. He went 76th. Do you guys think that was an okay spot for Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Yes,
Nope.
given how the receivers are coming off the board, yes.
So
I still think it's
very
too
good
soon.
value for him.
Miles Sanders is off the board. All right, we'll take a look at the best available for Heath. Kareem Hunt. Oh, man. Damn it. Just too many good running back values in this draft.
What does this tell you? Don't follow Heath's rankings.
What do you mean? I wasn't
good.
I mean, this is a great time to draft Kareem Hunt. How about I go Garrett Wilson, double up on the Jets? No, I'm not going to do that.
What's your team like? What's your team look like?
My team is team running back, Josh Allen, Joe Mixon, Leonard.
Oh, you got an
Fournette.
easy pick right here.
I do?
Very easy.
I guess let's go to Jamie's rankings. Kareem Hunt is the best. Took Tony Pollard. If I were going to take a wide receiver, it would be Christian Kirk.
Okay, so take Kirk. Not the one I would take, but sure.
I'm going to take Kareem Hunt. I'm making a lot of trades.
I'm all for it.
Yes.
You will love your running backs at the end of the day. You know you need a lot of running backs anyway, unless you just somehow have luck to keep a bunch of healthy running backs as it is.
At most, I'm drafting one more running back. Now it's all wide receiver all the time. Who would you have taken, Jamie?
Russell Gage.
Russell Gage. Russell Gage could be so bad at
He could be
78
so bad, but he
overall.
He could
be
also
great.
be a very good player.
You said it before when you were critiquing Brady yesterday that what happens if Evans gets hurt? What happens if Godwin gets hurt? Well, what happens if that does happen? Then Russell Gage is going to get a lot of targets.
And it
Yeah,
doesn't
well,
need to be both of them. And Godwin's already coming back from an injury. And he could even be good even if Godwin plays.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he could be 78th overall pick good. Went 79th, went one pick later. What? No, I'm saying I don't know if he could go. I don't know if he could be that good. More like 100th overall, I would think.
Well, is Kareem Hunt like 12 PPR points per game when he's sharing with Chubb? Is it that high or is it a little lower? Is it around 10?
I mean, look, it's hard to say. The first 6 games of the season, or the first 5 that he played with Nick Chubb, he was like a top 7.
He was awesome. Right. I remember that.
But he has not finished in the top 20 in any of his 3 seasons per game. He hasn't finished in the top 20 in any of his 3 seasons with Cleveland. So it's weird. Injuries have had something to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
But
He only played 8 games last year.
You know,
But he did average 13 PPR points per game. I think if you can find any player averaging 13 PPR points per game that's not a quarterback in the middle of round 7, I think you're doing fine. I'm not going to poo-poo you on the Kareem Hunt pick.
Yeah, well, I can't start 4 running back.
Oh, Rob.
Tyler Lockett, Devontae Smith, and Tony Pollard go off the board here as Rob steals Tony Pollard from Jamie. All right, Jamie's on the clock. Take a look at his team here. We've got the he just picked. Who'd you pick? Chase Edmonds.
Yep.
All right, so you have no quarterback or tight end. You have Akers and Swift and Edmonds at running back. You have Cooks, Diggs, Bateman and Mooney at wide receiver. Anybody excited for the Subway Series tonight? No?
Is that like something with turkey and roast
Yeah.
beef?
Russell Wilson is a big. Tara, you go to a sandwich shop. Could be any sandwich shop. What's your order? What do you get?
Oh, I'm odd. I like BLTs. I know that's a really weird thing to order at a sandwich shop, but yeah.
I don't think that's odd.
No, it is weird because I mean bacon.
Of all the things you could order, it's like, wait, the only meat you want is a BLT, but I don't know.
Yeah,
No,
isn't that like just to fill you up? Because bacon should be on the meat. Should not be the meat.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie, it does not fill you up.
Right.
But taste wise, yeah, that's it.
All right, Jamie, why'd you take Russell Wilson there, 85th overall, first pick of round 8?
I didn't want to take Devin Singletary because I'm not very fond of his role in the passing game in a PPR league, so don't want him there. I was hoping for Chase Edmonds and Tony Pollard. So I was hoping for one lottery ticket type running back that I could also use because that would be my fourth. Didn't want to take another receiver there because I didn't feel like there's anybody that was of good value. You could certainly argue that Kirk was. I didn't want to take Hawkinson yet. So it was Edmonds, and then Russell Wilson's the next best quarterback for me. And I've said enough times, I think he could be the best quarterback for fantasy. So easy selection.
Okay, and don't worry, I'll take Singletary. Oh, Singletary just went. I'll take a 5th running back here. So, all right, Garrett Wilson off the board. We're up to the 90th overall pick, and Thomas Schaefer is on the clock. Take a look at Thomas's team here. He has
Thomas dressed really well.
Lamar Jackson, Dalvin Cook, David Montgomery. He just
I say that, and then he takes Patterson.
Cordell Patterson. He has Mike Evans, Adam Thielen, Russell Gage, and Darren Waller. All right. I am taking a wide receiver. I don't care what anybody says. But not these guys. Let's see. Let's take a look at Dave's wide receivers. Olave was definitely a name that stood out.
I think Renfro is a good value here.
You need a home run, right?
No, I don't necessarily. I have enough home runs at running back. I don't need a home run. I like Olave.
Take a chance on Sky Moore here.
No. I'm not a
What if
Sky
he's the
Moore
best
guy.
Chiefs wide receiver?
I don't think he will be.
But what if he is?
But what if Olave is the best Saints wide receiver?
You'd rather have the best Jameis Winston wide receiver or the best Patrick Mahomes wide receiver?
Oh, Jameis, for sure.
Olave
Actually,
was on my list. I was looking at him.
Hey, look,
Same.
Jameis has produced very good wide receivers, actually. He's produced 3 top 5 wide receivers. 3 top
And Rashad Perryman.
Yeah, he really has. But
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like Sky Moore at 91st made a lot of sense. All right, anyway, Renfro, Hawkinson. Chris did it again. Chris did it this time, better because he was able to wait on Hawkinson. But he really likes Amon-Ra St. Brown and TJ Hawkinson. And I remember he did that at a turn, I don't know, a month ago or so. 7-8 turn, something like that. 6, I think it was a 6-7 turn. Here he gets Amon-Ra St. Brown around 7 and Hawkinson around 8. Let's take a look at Chris's team. Mahomes, I hope that's Javonte and not Jamal Williams, so he's going to have too many Lions. Yeah, it's Javonte, plus only 1 running back so far. He's got Debo. Oh, he's got Kupp, Debo, Mike Williams, Drake London, Amon-Ra St. Brown, TJ Hawkinson.
It's a good PPR team.
That's a good team, yeah. Do you think he maybe should have taken another running back instead of Drake London?
I mean, there's still a lot of good values on the board. Yeah, I probably would have, but I mean, there's a lot of guys I still like that are coming up.
Right, he could
I
have been
guess
in on the Kareem Hunt, Tony Pollard round, whoever else went in that range. Chase
Right.
Edmonds. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Tara, you took Robert Woods. You felt it was just the right time for Robert Woods. So you've got now 5 receivers, 2 running backs, and Kyler Murray. And Robert Woods will be your starting flex as of right now because you have DeAndre Hopkins. What do you think?
When you put it that way. I'm definitely going running back here. I assumed that Dave would leave me with some running backs, and he surprisingly did, even though he took quite a few.
I left you with all the Seattle running backs you could want.
You did. How did
Have
you
at
know?
it.
That was exactly where I was going.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker. Again, I am fully aware that he's not going to start off the season as the RB1 there. It's going to be Rashad Penny, but you just kind of have to assume from what we've seen with Rashad Penny in the past that there's only a matter of time before it's going to be Kenneth Walker. I feel like I can wait with the running backs that I have, and he'll give me an upside play towards the middle of the season as my RB3.
I mean, look, you might have to wait 2 or 3 quarters for Penny to get hurt.
I was trying to be kind, but yeah.
This just in. The Titans are happy with Treylon Burks' conditioning right now. All right.
And there it is.
That's good. Robinson.
Start of the rise.
Happy with the yeah, exactly. All right. Some of the picks. Sorry, I'm on the clock. James Cook, Kenneth Walker, Joe Burrow, Rashad Penny, and Ronald Jones. All right. The best players available, according to Jamie, are Melvin Gordon, Ramondre Stevenson, Nyheim Hines, Dak Prescott, Zach Ertz. Take a look at my team here. I do not have a tight end. I do have 3 receivers. All right. I think Zach Ertz could make sense here. Or let's go maybe with Kadarius Toney.
Wow. Wow.
I'm going to take Kadarius Toney. I've thought a lot about Kadarius Toney, and I feel like he has more upside and more downside than almost any wide receiver that's going to be taken past pick 100. Or
I don't
maybe
think
even
you worry about downside at this point.
I agree. You need the offense to be better, but he could be part of that. I mean, if they have a chance to be good. Right on top of your head, the Giants finished blank in scoring in 2022.
27th.
19th.
25th.
Ugh, I don't like it. 19. I'm all in on 19, JB. I hope you're right.
I don't think it matters much for Toney, though, if Sterling Shepard doesn't play and he's able to assume that role, since we know exactly what Daniel Jones likes to do in the offense, even if they don't score a ton of points. If it all gets directed at Toney, that's a high upside play.
So, who did Chris take, by the way? Did he take a running back? Oh, yeah, he took Rashad Penny. There you go. That's his number 2 running back. Might be the starting running back for the Seahawks. It looks like he will be. We have Cook, Walker, Joe Burrow, Rashad Penny, Ronald Jones, Kadarius Toney, Dameon Pierce. What do you think about that Is that pick for Pierce?
I mean, it's the right range for him. There's several guys I like better. I'm curious to see how moving forward, following the report we got about Tyler Algier, how those 2 guys will get drafted, Pierce and Algier.
Who do you guys like better?
Algier. But by 1 spot.
Okay. Chase Claypool and Brandon Ayuk, the last 2 picks. Tara, pick a random team or just pick a letter from the draft room and we'll look at that team's that team.
M
is Marone. Let's see how Marone is doing today. Marone.
He's usually doing good. Upbeat guy.
Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley with Michael Pittman, DK Metcalf, and Amari Cooper. He has George Kittle at tight end. He has Miles Sanders at flex with Hunter Renfrow and Ronald Jones on the bench. Tara, what do you think about that team? Tear it apart.
Between the combination of Cooper and DK Metcalf in a 3 receiver lit, gets a little bit worried. I'm not as concerned about Metcalf if Geno Smith gets the starting job, but the combination right there is very risky, especially with Michael Pittman as the wide receiver 1. You're looking at a lot of upside. You're hoping for a lot from Pittman in order to make up for what you might lack from Metcalf and Cooper. So that receiving core worries me. It's a little bit.
Okay. And we have some more picks in. Jamie took Ramondre Stevenson and Zach Ertz. Rob took Dak Prescott. Melvin Gordon goes 111th. Yeah. Why, Jamie, do you think Melvin Gordon is so much lower than, let's say, Kareem Hunt?
Age, probably. The fact that everybody is pointing toward Melvin Gordon is Javonte Williams having this breakout season, which is yet to, I think, be justified by any stretch. I considered Gordon there. I was just looking for a little bit of a younger guy who I think has lottery ticket upside, but will also play. And I think Stevenson, despite the Pierre Strong report, I think Stevenson will also be in line for a bigger role in the passing game if James White's not ready. So Harris missed time last year. Harris missed time again this year. Stevenson could be, in for a huge opportunity. So I get more and more excited about Ramondre Stevenson every time I update my rankings. He's creeping closer to 30 by the day.
Can I ask Dave and Tara a question here? And be honest. Are you going to take Cole Kmet with either of your next two picks? Like, we're friends here.
Well, Dave would take you. You can see what Dave's going to do, right? I was assuming Freiermuth hasn't gone yet. He told you today, like Freiermuth better.
He's definitely going to take Freiermuth, but if Tara takes Freiermuth, then he might take Kmet. So I don't know. I have a decision.
Battle of the round 10 tight ends.
Man,
I think if you like him and he's there, you get him.
Oh, okay.
Don't you like Dawson Knox, though? You can take Dawson Knox.
No, I like Cole Kmet a lot. I'm going to take Cole Kmet.
There you go.
You and this other.
I was very happy when you passed on Zach Ertz, by the way. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Oh, yeah, look at that. I like Adam's team the best. Captain Spock, what are you thinking? This is not a good take at all. But I do appreciate it. Look, this guy, Jimmy, I think he's the one who's been killing me. Somebody's been killing me about Dawson Knox. I think I love Dawson Knox. I don't. I like him better than everyone else on this show, I guess. But no, I don't like Dawson. Yeah. All right, now, Tara, or would you have taken Cole Kmet if I didn't take him?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
I think she's lying to you.
No, I would have.
Okay, I feel much better about it then. Thank you. Matthew Stafford off the board. I want to take – no, I have Josh Allen. I want to take Trey Lance just to see Jamie's reaction. So we'll see.
I'm set at quarterback. You're not going to hurt my feelings.
I know, but you're going to kill me for it. All right, let's see what Chris is going to do. Chris has a really interesting team. He has a really fun PPR build here. He has Mahomes, Kupp, Debo, Mike Williams.
Another minute on the clock. Oh, he made his pick. Good for
it worked out really well for him. I'm looking at the running backs available. There's so much upside with guys still on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Like who?
And it's like, I mean, it worked out well for me too. Going receiver heavy early. It's such a better way to build your team.
Well, wait. I mean, okay, let's explore that.
It's really true.
Wait.
I'm looking at the running backs that are left on the board, and there's maybe 5 or 6 of them that I could say, all right, these guys are great. I'd love to take them now. And you look at wide receivers, and there's some interesting names. There's Jahan Dotson and Rondell Moore's there, Christian Watson's there, Galladay's it's Galladay. But there aren't as many exciting names. This is not what I was expecting to see.
But who's an exciting name at running back? Because most of these guys, you need an injury. And if you don't, then you've got
Well, you might need an injury, but Darrell Henderson is healthy now, I think. And we'll see if Akers can hold up as the feature back there. I know they don't love Henderson, but he might get pressed into playing time and be a serviceable running back for 5 or 6 weeks. These are guys that are going to have pockets of goodness for fantasy. You're going to be glad to take them here and then use them when they're in a position to help you. It may not be week 1, but it could be by week 4 or week 5. That's what I see with Henderson. It's what I see with Gainwell. But
I guess so. But we are talking about handcuffs, almost.
Of course, but I mean, this is if you build your team properly, depending on how you like to. I mean, obviously, I don't want to speak for anybody, but depending on how you like to build your team, if you build your team knowing that you can start up to 4 wide receivers, I mean, you could take so many chances on these guys.
Yeah. So Jamie, your team would be an example of this, or no?
I mean, I didn't necessarily go the same route Chris did, where he just he went really hero RB, however you want to describe it, 1 running back in his first 3 picks. I had a little bit more of a balanced approach in my first 2 turns by taking running back, receiver. But then I went receiver, and so I locked up 4 receivers, and now I'm just taking some shots on running backs.
You went Swift in round 1. Well, Jamie had the 12th.
I went Diggs, Swift, Cooks, and Akers.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to the results here. As Tara took Pat Freiermuth, and Dave took Christian Watson and Trey Lance, and Rashad White to Tara. So it's handcuff time there. And we are in round 11, and we have 4 rounds left. We have For most people, 4 picks left. For Tara and Dave, only 3 picks. And let's see. Is this Schneier on the clock? Let's take a look at Schneier's team. Dan has Burrow, McCaffrey, and Clyde. Can't quit Clyde Edwards either.
Yeah. Can't quit him.
Keenan Allen. He has got the 29-year-old Allens. He has Jerry Jeudy. Oh, he has another Allen Lazard. And Nyheim Hines and Sky Moore. And Mark Andrews, of course, who he took in round 3. You guys like this squad? No?
And now Gainwell, yes.
Yeah. And he took Gainwell. Okay. All right, good team there. All right. Kenneth Gainwell. And what do you mean, Chris? I like your team. Your team is good. The only thing I would have taken an RB2 a little bit earlier, but I think you did a really good job with your team, and you ended up with Kenneth Walker. No, you ended up with Rashad Penny and who was his other running back?
Algier.
Algier.
Javonte Williams is his RB1.
Well, no, I know that, but yeah, sorry. So Javonte Williams and waited a long time, got Rashad Penny. I think you have a really good team. All right, let's see. We're waiting for Chris. Chris, you can make your next pick now. We can talk about it. Chris takes Jameson Williams. All right, a lot of Lions. Marone is on the clock. If we had kickers and DSTs, when would you take your kicker and DST, Tara?
I would start with my DST. What are we, 14 rounds? I would take my DST in 13.
Okay. And kicker last?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see. We're on the clock here. I think MVS would be a good pick. See, Jamie, this is why I didn't take Sky Moore. Why take Sky Moore when I can wait and take the guy who's been the best wide receiver at camp?
It's true.
Yeah.
Good job by you.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying, man.
It's a very high upside pick.
Thank you. And and very high floor, right? Dawson Knox. Are we getting to number 2 tight ends here? Number 2 tight ends. Or was that the first? Yeah. Thomas Schaefer took Dawson Knox. He already had Darren Waller. People like Dawson Knox. All right, we got any questions from the group? All right, we can talk about Dan's team because he's bragging about it's the best team he's mocked so far.
It's the one with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, right? As a starter.
Yep.
Yeah, not the best team.
Well, I don't know how we could like Chris's and not like Dan's, right? It's a similar approach. He's got McCaffrey.
Is Dan the first person to cover up 2 of our faces because he's written so much?
Oh, wow, Dan. Yeah, just very selfish. Yeah, what you got now, Dan? Here I am. And he said,
The strategy is fine. I don't have a problem with the strategy that he did, which is hero RB. You take one good running back and then you load up at receiver elsewhere. It's that part will work out for him, especially since he also has Andrews at tight end. So I guess getting really serviceable receivers, that might be selling it a little short. Really good receivers and a really great tight end to go with Christian McCaffrey. I think you have to like that. I think he's got a point.
Yes.
And he's just going to have to juggle that RB2 spot.
Yeah, it's a pretty good team.
Or he and I would make a trade or he and you would make a trade, Adam, because we've got teams with a lot of running backs.
J.K. Dobbins for Keenan Allen. Perfect.
Even though you should have taken Allen when you had a chance.
I didn't take Dobbins?
No.
Oh,
I didn't take Allen.
Oh, yeah. Well, I would have taken him over Leonard Fournette. I mean, yeah. Leonard Fournette's in great shape. So Michael Carter, Isaiah Spiller. That's what Aaron Rodgers picked. And we'll see what Jamie's going to do as Tyler Boyd is selected. Jamie has 2 picks here.
I'm sure Jamie's broken up about Tyler Boyd.
I would have taken him. He was on the list.
And who would you guys take? Sky Moore or MVS in a blanket?
More.
Which is the same as in a vacuum.
More.
More. More.
I'd take Jamie's team over Dan's or Chris's. Well, it's got that second running back that makes you feel a little more warm and cozy, and still very good wide receivers. It just doesn't have the tight end, right? So who's Chris's tight end? Oh, Hawkinson. Dan has Andrews. Jamie, you have Zach Ertz.
Yeah. I mean, Ertz and Hawkinson are comparable.
Yeah.
Whether it'll stay
I would
that
take my
way.
team over both of theirs as well.
Let's talk about Myler Boyd, says Rob. Do you guys see any bounce back potential for Tyler Boyd? I almost called him Myler Boyd.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you say bounce back potential, but the stretch when you like to point to Burrow throwing the ball, he was a top number 3 receiver.
He had some really long completions, long catches, and wasn't really. He was still the last 5 games of the season. He had 5 to 7 targets in each game. He's usable, I guess, if he's getting 3 to 4.
I mean, he's a lottery ticket too.
Yeah, he's one of the better late upside picks because you know what he can actually be should Chase or T. Higgins go down.
Now, obviously, he's going to get drafted ahead of the guys we talked about earlier, Randall Cobb and Nico Collins, but it's the same theory.
Yeah.
I don't think those guys are league winners. Tyler Boyd could be a league winner.
Yeah.
Here's a question from Lewis. Would you avoid Saquon Barkley as a second running back if you drafted McCaffrey, Cook, or Henry in the first round due to possible double injury risk exposure?
No.
If you're looking to go upside, I mean, I like that combination because what in the combination Saquon and Derrick Henry in this one?
Yeah.
Should both of them stay healthy, you're looking at incredible upside. So I don't mind the combination if you're just going all in.
I'll remind everyone, I say it a lot. Last year in our FFT league, my first 2 picks were Henry and Saquon. It didn't work out very well, folks.
Well, I mean, you have to understand what the risks are. There's going to be risk involved if you take, any injury-prone type of player.
What
happened to Rob, but we're standing.
All right. Which is a better football movie, Wedding Crashers or Meet the Fockers?
Wedding Crashers.
Yeah.
Well, Wedding Crashers is a better movie, but which has a better football scene? I'd say Meet the Fockers. That's a great.
Wedding Crashers is more quotable for that football.
Yeah, just
Crab Cakes, Maryland.
Oh, is that from the football scene? I guess I don't remember it that well. Okay. All right. I respect that, Tara. Don't love the BLT thing, but I respect that. Eugene wants to know, he's keeping Javonte and Eckler. Should I keep Derrick Henry or Justin Jefferson? Half PPR.
Jefferson.
Yeah, Jefferson.
All right. We've got Darrell Henderson, Mike Gesicki, Kenny Golladay, Jarvis Landry, J.D. McKissick, and Rondale Moore off the board. Let's take a look at Team Terrible here. Allen, Mixon, Fournette, Higgins, Elijah Moore, Chris Olave, Cole Kmet, J.K. Dobbins, MVS, Kareem Hunt, Kadarius Toney. And we're going to go ahead and take another running back. We're going to take Khalil Herbert or all right. Yeah, I'll take Khalil Herbert. All right. Why not?
Why are you taking a second quarterback?
I'm just taking best player available, Jamie.
I mean, your receiving core needs help. Just take shots on guys.
It does not need help anymore.
Yes, it does.
Yes. We're good.
You just got to pick the right week.
Who's left to take shots on? Who are the receivers?
AJ Osborne, Josh Palmer. Take shots on guys that could be very successful. And
you're going to be cutting them after
KJ Osborne. I'm sorry. I am not feeling KJ Osborne.
No, neither am I.
I mean, yeah.
Everybody in Minnesota just keeps talking him up, and Adam Thielen has a hard time staying healthy the last 2 years.
I mean, that's true. I just drafting him anticipating a Thielen injury. Unless you have deep benches, I just don't see how you're going to be able to keep him on your team.
Agreed. He's going to be the first guy you cut.
That's fine. Carry Justin Fields all season.
I didn't draft Justin Fields. I drafted. You know what? I'm going to draft Justin Fields in the next round if he's there. He shouldn't be there because he's got league-winning upside.
He does. He sure does.
What?
He does.
Yeah. Sorry. Latest picks. Khalil Herbert, Derek Carr, Gus Edwards. Somebody should take Mark Ingram, right? I mean, that should happen. He is number 2 in Jamie's overall rankings. Nico Collins, Cetera. Mark Ingram, where is he? He's pretty far down in Dave's overall rankings, it seems. Oh, there he is. All right, we only have, 2 rounds left after this? Yeah. 14-round draft here, so we are now into round 13. Hooray! DJ Chark, Jalen Tolbert. Not bad, Dave. Nice sleeper there.
Not bad.
Do you have a tight end, Dave?
For this late? No, I'll take one with my last pick. I'll find a streamer. I've got a list.
Okay.
But yeah, got a couple of wide receivers that have, you can make the case for the upside for them, which it's not like I'm, planting a flag on DJ Chark or Jalen Tolbert saying that, yes, you should get these guys. But these are the types of receivers that I don't mind taking late, and they're disposable. If after the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season, I'm not getting anything interesting out of either one of them, do to them what I would have done to KJ Osborne. And I think they have a higher ceiling than KJ Osborne.
Here is a question, another one from Dalton. Do you like Mike Williams over Keenan Allen straight up in any format?
No, but it's both in non-PPR.
Non-PPR dynasty, maybe you can make the case.
Yeah.
Maybe even half PPR dynasty.
From Michael Gray, which running backs are being drafted higher than they should to avoid being seen as dead zone running backs? Like Travis Etienne. That's a funny concept. Take Etienne in round 2 and be like, didn't take a dead zone running back.
I mean, the obvious ones would probably be Jacobs, Gibson, Zeke.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I don't understand the question. Does this mean, are they being drafted in round 2?
Yes.
Being drafted
guys that should be dead zone quarterback or dead zone running backs, but are going higher
I didn't understand.
in theory.
I don't know. Maybe Zeke.
Well, he went before I think the dead zone started in this draft. He was round 3.
I don't know.
Zeke was pretty
Nobody
early.
knows when it starts. Some say mid round 3. Some say round 3. That's why I think.
Well, if you look in round 4 of our draft, one running back went, and it was Breece Hall, and I don't think anybody would call him a dead zone running back.
Yes,
and then
they absolutely would.
Okay, then maybe you could. And then you look at round 5, and the running backs that went in round 5, it's Gibson, Dobbins, A.J. Dillon, Travis Etienne, Josh Jacobs. Some of them you could look at and say they're dead zone running backs. They're running backs that don't have as much upside as it seems. But there's also some that just look amazing. I think Dillon could be amazing. Etienne, if things work out and he leads Jacksonville in receiving, holy moly, he'd be amazing. I think he's worth a pick right around that point. When who got him? Jamie probably got him, right? Etienne?
No, I would have.
Frank got him. 58th overall. I'm not going to fight Frank on that at all. So I don't know where the dead zone for running backs came up in this draft. And running backs fell. We talked about it earlier in this draft. There was a point in the draft where there were more running backs that I liked than wide receivers, and I kind of regretted taking so many running backs earlier on.
But you only like them as upside handcuffs, right? I mean, you didn't like them as guys you could put in your lineup,
No, but that was it was like round 8 or so, and that's the point of the draft where you start looking for those types of running backs. I'm not looking for a starting running back in round 8. There are some guys who could qualify as that. Mark Ingram could technically qualify as that.
Yeah.
And you're drafting him after round 8. Sure.
Here's who went around 8.
That's why Rashad Penny was such a good pick for Chris.
Right.
Because Chris went and filled other positions. He did what you're supposed to do with the anchor running back. And he picked Penny. He knows that Penny's not going to last the whole season. But for week 1, assuming he's healthy, assuming he gets out of training camp without any knee issues, yeah, sure. That's a great
running backs in round 8. You're the running backs in round 8. Devin Singletary, Cordero Patterson, Damien Harris. There you go. Devin.
I took Harris, and I did it with the last pick in round 8 because I thought it was a good enough value for a guy who could potentially score 10 touchdowns this year.
Jacoby Myers. Any interesting picks in round 13? Mark Ingram, we know, has a chance to be relevant if there's a suspension. Anything, Tara, that you see that you really like or dislike?
Kirk Cousins. I think that kind of leans towards, because I took Kyler earlier, which I don't typically do, but I can't resist a stack situation. But I think it kind of goes back to there being a lot of quarterback upside late, to where you can just sit around and you can wait to these later rounds and you can grab guys that can be those fringe QB1s. So I like that Kirk Cousins pick right there.
And Jamie takes Brian Robinson. All right. And we're into our final round here. Donovan Peoples-Jones taken. Let's see. Does the running back dead zone vary by league format? Yeah, I mean, probably. I think someone out there has the definite.
Wow. Sorry.
Yeah, I just saw that. Sorry. That's one of my little.
Chris Carson retired.
Oh, no. Understandable. But that sucks.
Yeah.
7th round pick. What a freaking career that guy had.
He was awesome.
Great career.
Yeah.
Robbie Anderson selected. Oh, here's a big quote. Kyle Shanahan says he, John Lynch, and Jimmy Garoppolo spoke this morning, and everyone is on the same page. We have moved on to Trey.
Yeah.
Let's see where this is from.
We knew that was going to happen.
Okay. Well, sorry.
They've got to have a couple of trades that are close to being ready to go once Garoppolo gets a clean bill of health.
This is a 2 QB league, right? Justin Fields. All right, we're done here. We can talk about our squads. We'll start with Jamie since his roster is complete. With the 12th pick, Jamie Eisenberg selected DeAndre Swift and Stephon Diggs. And here's his team. Wilson at quarterback, Ertz at tight end, Swift, Akers, Stevenson, Henderson, Edmonds, Tyrion Davis-Price. Geez, you drafted a lot of running backs. Tyrion Davis-Price and Brian Robinson. His wide receivers, he has 5 of them. Diggs, Cooks, Mooney, Bateman, Jacoby Myers. Jamie likes his team.
Very much so.
I like all the running backs too. Nice job.
Yeah, very running back heavy squad there. Yeah, I mean, what could go wrong with Mooney and Bateman? They're uncertain,
I mean, there's certainly some uncertainty with those guys, but they are the number one guys in their offenses. Mooney, by all accounts, was tearing up camp last year before OTAs before his groin injury, and now steps into a huge role. Mooney, we saw the targets last year, and hopefully Fields is better and a better offense. So, there's a lot to like about both those guys. They're 2 of my favorite breakout candidates. And then Diggs and Cooks, you know what you're getting. So I like it.
All right. I had the 6th pick, and I took Joe Mixon. And my team is Allen, of course, Justin Fields to win the league. Allen with Mixon, Fournette, and Dobbins is going to be my flex. My wide receivers suck. They are T. Higgins, Elijah Moore, and Chris Olave. On the bench, I have Kareem Hunt, which is good. Khalil Herbert, and then I have Kadarius Toney, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and Van Jefferson, and Cole Kmet at tight end. We don't have to talk about this team. Let's go to Tara's team. She had the 2nd pick. Kyler Murray at quarterback, Pat Freiermuth at tight end. Running back is Eckler and Gibson, who was in round 5, plus Ken Walker, Rashad White, and Deontay Foreman. Wide receivers are Tyreek Hill, DJ Moore, Cortland Sutton, DeAndre Hopkins, Robert Woods, Nico Collins, Jamison Crowder. How you feeling about this?
This is typically more handcuffs than I would take, but with the wide receivers that I had going as deep as Robert Woods being my wide receiver 5, I felt pretty confident that I could maybe settle in there and grab some handcuffs, see if I get some upside there. I'm feeling pretty good about it overall. I think it's a very solid team.
And Dave had the 1st pick. He took Jonathan Taylor, then he took Nick Chubb and AJ Brown. So he's got Justin Herbert at quarterback with Trey Lance on the bench. Kyle Rudolph was the last pick of the draft. That's Dave's starting tight end right now. Taylor, Chubb, Damian Harris, Elijah Mitchell will be possibly your flex. Damian Harris, James Cook at running back. AJ Brown, Marquise Brown, Treylon Burks, DJ Chark, Jalen Tolbert, Christian Watson. Thoughts?
I don't regret taking Chubb because there weren't 2 receivers that I liked at the swing picks at 2-3. Brown was the only one that I really liked to go with receiver there, and I just think Chubb was good enough. I think it's going to sound weird to say that I regret taking Justin Herbert, especially when he went in with the first pick of round 5. But if I had passed on Herbert, I don't know if there was a receiver that I'm looking at it right now. Honestly, the player that I might have taken over Herbert is Gibson, which means I wouldn't have taken Mitchell. I probably would have taken another receiver there, and I'm not sure which receiver that would have been. To go with Burks, but I probably would have had another receiver. Maybe it would have been Gage, if I'm saying this right, and then I would have taken a quarterback later on. So it's kind of a domino effect, I guess, from taking Justin Herbert over Antonio Gibson. But I figure whatever weaknesses I have at depth with wide receiver will be made up for with what I've got at quarterback and the depth that I have at running back. And I'll either find another receiver off the waiver wire that I'll like, or I'll make a trade.
When you guys
I'm streaming tight ends, obviously.
When you come out of a draft like this, would you rather be weak at running back or weak at wide receiver?
Running back.
Running back, yeah.
Receiver.
Yeah, I think I'd rather be weak at running back in this 3 receiver plus flex full PPR. Probably, unless I can definitely trade. You know, if I'm in an active league. Anybody want to make a trade? All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. We very much appreciate it.
Just remember, man, it's a long year. You don't have to keep the players that you draft. You can always make moves, and you will make moves.
I will.
So just if your team, if you don't like the way your team looks now, it's okay. By week 8, it's going to look completely different anyway.
Someone asking us if we're going to do a mock auction. Yeah, at some point we're going to do a mock salary cap draft.
Multiple.
Yes, we will do that. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. While you're here, hit like on the video, and we'll talk to you tomorrow on Fantasy